Just a few years ago, our next guest could fly. Now she is forced to use public transportation like the rest of us. You can see new episodes of The Girls on the Bus Thursdays on Max. Please welcome Melissa Benoist. You know, the last time you were here was, I think you just had a baby, right?
Yeah, he was about a year old, just over a year old.
Just over a year old. So how old is he now?
He's 3.5 now, like full-blown
Oh, that's a fun age and also a crazy age.
The hardest age.
Yeah, do you think it's the hardest age?
For me.
Well, it's the hardest age so far.
Yes.
Yeah, is what it is, yeah. Do you write down the things he says, the funny stuff?
Oh, yeah, he's saying weird things all the time. Today he said, "Jumpin' Jehoshaphat."
What?
Yeah, and heavens to Betsy.
Is he hanging around with Joe Biden? Where is he getting?
No, it's just my husband.
Really? How old is your husband? 85?
At heart, yes. He also, I was changing one day and he saw like my bra and he's like, "Oh, those are mommy's booby traps."
That's very clever.
It's really good,
yeah.
right? Like,
that should be a product, the booby trap.
Why didn't we call it that in the first place?
It's a very he might be a genius, your son, actually.
Maybe I should have him tested.
You should definitely have him tested, for sure. Although if the test comes back, not a genius.
It could go either way.
Yeah. This show that you're on, I think there's an interesting little thing about it, and that is that it's based on a nonfiction book, a true story, but is a fictional version of that story.
Entirely fictionalized version of real events in politics in recent history, yes.
The book is about a journalist who was on the campaign tour.
Yes, Amy Chozick.
Amy with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and she trailed Obama with the Wall Street Journal in 2008. She trailed Hillary in 2016, and the book is about her relationship with Hillary.
I see. And it's an interesting position to be in because you're kind of like, on one hand, you're part of the team. You're with these people all the time, going from town to town. But you're also not at all part of the team.
No, not at all. But that was something I was struck by that I don't think, maybe naively, I didn't realize, like how close in proximity journalists are to the candidates. Like you kind of get chummy with them, even though there's that layer that you're never going to really break through.
Yeah, and if you do, that's probably a failure on their part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it takes a certain person to run for president of the United States, and I think journalists are always very keenly aware of that.
Uh-huh. You think that? Because I feel like sometimes we vary from that as far as the certain person type.
That's true.
Would you rather be on the road with Biden or Trump as a pretend journalist?
As a pretend journalist?
Yeah, well, which is what you are.
I do think that Trump cracked the code because he's giving them newsworthy stories every day.
He's definitely more interesting. He's definitely not saying jump a Jehoshaphat.
No, although I do wish that Biden would say that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he does, probably. Every time he steps on one of his grandchildren's Legos, he probably says that. And then also, I'm guessing was not part of the book, this real story, that your character talks to the ghost of Hunter S. Thompson.
I hope it wasn't part of the real story.
Yeah, no.
If it was, she didn't tell everyone.
If it was, if it was, that is perhaps a psychological breakdown of some kind. Mm-hmm. Why is there a ghost in this?
He sort of serves as the devil on her shoulder and sort of her inner voice and inner critic as a writer. Because my character kind of idolizes this bygone era of journalism, romanticizes.
Journalism, yeah. And because I think it's one of those things that you go like, if I'm buying the show, I go like, oh, it's great, and it's set, and it's interesting, and there's a ghost. And you're like, maybe there shouldn't be a ghost, but the ghost is working for you.
Yeah, he works for her, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting line that we toe because, I think there's a line in the show that says if Hunter S. Thompson were here today, he'd be an HR nightmare. So we kind of examine that.
Yeah, he'd shoot the HR person. Is what he would do. Yes. Are you a ghost person? Like, do you?
I love ghost stories.
You love ghosts.
All I want in life is to see a UFO and have a ghost story. And I thought I saw a UFO once on vacation down near Florida, and it was just a Tesla launch.
Everybody sees UFOs in Florida. Have you seen a ghost?
No, you know what? I don't have like a juicy ghost story, but I did used to live in this building when I lived in Brooklyn in the Navy Yard. It was like an old chocolate factory back in the Industrial Revolution.
Ooh.
And we used to hear like footsteps in the hall when me and my roommate knew we were the only ones
Of
there.
fat ghosts walking around the chocolate factory?
Yeah, and we like to think that he like died in a Benoist style.
Did it smell like chocolate?
No, it didn't.
It
I
didn't.
mean, it was pretty modernized. They had done some renovations, but.
Wow, you lived in an abandoned chocolate factory. That's pretty, I mean, that's another show on its own. Well, it's very good to see you.
Yeah.
The show is called, it's called The Girls on the Bus. You can watch new episodes Thursdays on Max. Melissa Benoist, everybody. Thank you. Good to see you. We'll be back with Rhiannon Giddens.